Per 9000's Game Room.
This was the first SNES driving game that I wrote a review of. The way I picked it was simple. It was the first driving game I pulled out of my box of SNES cartridges. Okay, I might have reviewed it written style a long time ago, but it's took me quite a while to make this video of it, so I've probably reviewed on video quite a few driving games since then. But let's get to work. The Duel Test Drive 2 is a racing game developed by Distinctive Software and published by Accolade, a name I am sure most of you will have heard of. It came out between 1989 and 1992 on the Amiga, the Amstrad CPC, the Apple IIGS, the Apple Macintosh, the Atari ST, the Commodore 64, MS-DOS, the MSX, the SNES, the Sega Mega Drive and the ZX Spectrum. So just about everything you can think of at that time. But as this is part of my SNES review series, I'll be focusing on my experience of the SNES version, which came out in 1992. The presentation on the game strikes me as a little bare bones. There's very little to choose from and very little you can alter. It gives you the impression this is a very shallow game, especially for people who were paying £40 for it back in the day. You start the game and you're given a choice of 3 cars. They are basically extremely popular sports cars from back in the day. A Lamborghini, a Porsche and a Ferrari. I can't remember the exact models. Your choice of difficulty determines whether the car will use automatic or manual transmission. You get to choose one of 4 courses to race on, each labelled with an indicator of its level of challenge. You then either pick one of the game's 3 cars to race against, or you pick a stopwatch to merely treat it like a time trial. You control the car from an internal view so you can see all of the dashboard, and it is different depending on the car you pick. Once you start the game, you're racing along a highway, stopping for petrol when a big stop indicator tells you to. If you don't stop for petrol, you will run out of gas and lose a life. If you hit another car, you will also lose a life. Each level has 1 or more police cars along the course, who I assume try to either crash into you or arrest you, causing you to lose a life. I'm not sure because in all honesty I was never caught by them. I didn't even seem to see them. If you're going above the speed limit at a set point on the road, then you will hear a siren, but every time this happened I just kept my finger on the gas and the noise disappeared eventually. I'm going to cut straight to the chase with this game. If I'd been reviewing it back in 1992 then it might have scored better, but as it stands I think I need to give the game a 3 out of 10. Some people hold the SNES up as a golden era when everything was great, and in some genres this might be the case, but I don't think semi-realistic racing simulations was one of them. Don't get me wrong, it's not awful to play, it looks decent enough and it controls well enough, but it commits a huge cardinal sin of gaming with the simple fact that it's just boring. There's no music, the graphics are functional, and the choices of cars and tracks are just too limited for me to recommend it. If you hear music in the background of this video, that was me taking sympathy on your ears and thinking you'd want to hear something behind my voice other than silence. The game doesn't provide this for you. I've simply sucked this out of another game to improve the quality of my video. The game feels a bit more like some kind of tech demo to me. It feels like there are things there which you would want to see in a full game, but the ideas just haven't been pushed far enough. If I'd paid full price for this on release, I think I would have soon found myself very bored of it. I guess that this was probably better if you were an Amiga or Atari ST owner or another home computer user, as it was a whole lot less cash on release on those formats. I'm starting to think that the SNES is at its best when getting games designed specifically for it instead of receiving various ports. As for the price you might pay for this now, copies seem to be quite thin on the ground. When I originally wrote this review, there was a boxed UK copy on Amazon for £15, and back when I saw this one there weren't any others there for me to compare this price with. I can't remember what I paid for mine. It's an NTSC American cartridge, and I've had it since my childhood. I can't really recommend anyone spend more than £5 on this game, I'm afraid. There are so many better games out there, both retro games and modern games, especially in the racing category. You'd be much better spending your money elsewhere. Okay, that's Kerr9000 signing off, saying keep on gaming.